Welcome back. In just a few minutes ago, we were alluding to Nalco falling to the lowest point of the day, and Nigel is here with us with more details on why the stock has seen such a sharp fall. Nigel.
Well, Nalco, the stock has seen a big rally in the last month and a half or thereabouts. That's because Nalco is more sensitive to alumina prices rather than aluminium prices. So that's where we saw that alumina prices moved up. The stock had rallied as well. However, there is some weakness on alumina prices, which has led Nalco to see some kind of profit taking. Let's give you a couple of details. Alumina prices, they move from around $600 per ton all the way to $800, $820 per ton. What's happened the last couple of sessions is that the alumina prices have come down closer to around $700 per ton. Why did this happen? A couple of factors at play. One is Chinese aluminium smelters, they have been finding the alumina prices very, very high. And as we know, demand is not very, very strong. So various aluminium smelters, they have been shutting down, which means the demand for alumina goes down because you take alumina and then you make aluminium. The other factor that's happened in the last 24 hours or so is that Australian miner South 32, they have gone ahead and they've withdrawn their guidance from their aluminium smelter, which is in Mozambique. That's because of the unrest and the political unrest that's currently prevalent in Mozambique. So roughly, they were earlier guiding for around 3.5 lakh tons of aluminium. Now they've withdrawn this guidance, so we'll have to wait by to see what is the revised guidance. But what that means is, if 3.5 lakh tons of aluminium goes out of the system, means that the demand for around 7 lakh tons of alumina goes out of the system. So that deficit, which was in that vicinity of around 1.5 million tons of alumina, that will come down substantially. Keep in mind, Nalco is also looking at commissioning an alumina smelter, an alumina refinery in the coming year or so. That's around 1 million tons or thereabouts. But that's the trigger going ahead. In the near term, the street is a little bit nervous because alumina prices have corrected. But you also need to keep in mind that most on the street are working with elevated alumina prices in comparison to the average that we've seen in the last 10 years or so. So that's the reason that Nalco has come in for profit taking, because alumina prices have seen some bit of correction. And it appears now the deficit number that the street was working with globally with regard to alumina may not be as big as earlier envisaged. Back to you.
Take that point, Nigel. Thank you so much for explaining that. Nalco had been an outperformer earlier, but because of a decline in alumina prices, the stock lowered, down almost 6.5% as we speak.